When it comes to bone health, we're very often told to make sure that we are getting enough calcium. But you may also have been told to take vitamin D as well as a number of other supplements. And that's on top of all the other supplements you're meant to be taking for just general health and well-being. These days, it's becoming very difficult to be able to tell what we actually need, what actually works, and what's just really clever marketing. And so today, I will be going through the 3 most popular supplements that people tend to go to for bone health and break down what the research shows, who might actually benefit from them, and who might want to think twice before buying them. And I'm making this because supplement stacks are just getting out of hand. The list of what you should be taking seems to be growing every single week, and I just want to make sure people are only taking what they really need. So let's go. So I'm going to start with the nutrient that I think most people would just naturally link to bone health, and that is of course calcium. And the reason this seems to be the most commonly linked nutrient to bones is because around 99% of the calcium in your body is stored within your bones and also your teeth. And so you'd think that if you get lots of calcium, then your bones will be solid. But the catch is, more calcium isn't always going to be better. What the research shows is that calcium supplements can help you to maintain bone density, especially in people who aren't always getting enough calcium in their diet. But if you are already eating things like dairy products, tofu, almonds, leafy greens, foods that are naturally quite high in calcium, then you may not actually need a supplement at all. The reality is though, most people are not getting enough calcium through their diets, especially people over 50 years old. And as you get older, that's when you need more calcium. Here in Australia, where I live, 70% of women over 50 years old are not getting enough calcium from the food that they are eating alone. And to be honest, younger adults aren't doing that great either. Kids are also not doing great. So across the board, people just aren't getting enough calcium. Now, most adults need to be aiming for 1,000 milligrams of calcium each day, and this does go up when you are over 50 years old to about 1,300 milligrams per day. Now, I'm going to happily put my hand up here as a 30-year-old woman. I am not getting that amount of calcium through my diet. So yeah, I'd be needing to take a calcium supplement, and I do take a calcium supplement, but you don't need to be taking a calcium supplement if you are getting enough calcium through your food. In reality though, most of us aren't, so a supplement is going to be helpful in those cases. So my simple suggestion with calcium is take stock of what you are consuming, and if it's not enough calcium, then consider a supplement. Now, you can definitely have too much calcium, and if you do go overboard, you increase the risk of experiencing kidney stones. But look, if you're at risk of a calcium deficiency, you have 2 real options. You can either try to increase calcium from the food that you're eating, or you can take a calcium supplement. So really, it's your choice. Now let's move on to another popular nutrient for bones, and that is of course the sunshine vitamin, vitamin D. It's not the first time I've talked about this, but this one is really important because you need vitamin D to actually absorb the calcium that you bring into your body, whether that's from food or supplements. So without vitamin D, even if you're consuming enough calcium, your body is not going to be able to use it effectively to maintain and build bones. And again, deficiency in vitamin D, it's pretty common. You get vitamin D mainly from sun exposure, so people that tend to be indoors a lot, live in places with not a lot of sunshine, or even if you have darker skin tones, you get less vitamin D and you will be more at risk of a deficiency. Also, as we get older, our ability to actually make vitamin D from sunlight, that decreases. So people over 60 years old, they are more at risk of a vitamin D deficiency. With vitamin D, the research is pretty clear that it improves bone health. It even reduces fracture risk in older adults. But again, if your levels are fine, you don't really need to supplement it. The best way to find out where your vitamin D levels are at is through a blood test. that will tell you how you're tracking. And if you're low, then a supplement is ideal because it's not really a vitamin that you can increase your levels with through food alone. Now, the third most popular supplement for bones is actually magnesium. Magnesium is a very versatile nutrient. It is needed for over 300 reactions in the body, and bone health just happens to be covered in those. Studies have found that low magnesium intake is linked to lower bone mineral density and a high fracture risk, especially for older adults. And while I always say only take a supplement if you really need it, most people are not getting enough magnesium from food, especially if their diets are low in nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains. Many people would likely benefit from magnesium supplementation, and there's many types out there, but magnesium citrate or glycinate tend to be better absorbed and are also a little easier on your gut, so I would be looking out for those in any supplements that you're looking at. So the most popular supplements for bone health, they're actually useful, and the majority of people out there would likely benefit from them. These three nutrients, they have a lot of evidence behind them, and we know they are beneficial. So basically, I would just suggest checking and seeing where you are at with your calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium levels, and if they are low, supplements could be needed. But either way, if you do want to look out for your bones, these are important. They aren't the only things you need though. If you're really serious about protecting your bones, there's something that's much more important than any nutrient, and if you're familiar with my channel, you know where I'm going with this. It's exercise. What a surprise. If you want strong bones, you need to challenge them, and the strongest evidence that we have for increasing and maintaining bone density is resistance training and impact-based exercise. So that would be things like strength training, weighted walking, stair climbing, or even jumping exercises. And the reason that they are so important is because these types of exercises, they put some stress on your bone, and that actually signals to your body that it needs to adapt and make its bones denser and stronger. So if you already have low bone mass, you don't even need to go that heavy on your weights. Just getting started, staying consistent, and progressively training will work. This is backed with research too, and it's something that I am even doing now to look after my bones as I get older. But it is never too late to start doing this, regardless of your age. Now, alongside exercise, you do need to also make sure that you have enough protein. Protein is harped on about for muscle, and you don't need another person telling you to increase your protein intake. But it is important for your bones as well. Bone is made out of collagen and other proteins, not just calcium. And as you age, you tend to lose muscle and bone mass. So this is just another reason to make sure that you are getting enough protein. So, do these supplements that are quite often touted as being good for your bones actually work? Yes, actually, but only when used the right way. Calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium, they all work together to help build and maintain bones. And these three nutrients tend to be my go-to, not just for bone health, but overall health too. It is important to remember though that none of these work in just purely isolation. Your bones need a combination of these nutrients as well as movement, protein, and long-term habits that support your entire skeletal system. So hopefully that helps you navigate the never-ending supplements that are being shoved in your face. That's all I have to say for now though, and if you want me to dive into other nutrients that have been linked to bone health like vitamin K2, then just let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next video, and until then, keep playing the long game.